Okay, welcome to the third and final video. In this video, I'm just going to customize this a little bit more. I've deleted all the old articles that you saw in video number 2 and the category. I'm just going to go through the process once again as if I were doing this for the first time. This time, we're going to use add my own keywords. And one thing to mention about adding your own keywords is, say for example, you got 100 articles and you want to upload them. I'd probably just auto tag them. However, if you take a little bit of time, which I actually recommend, and you break those 100 articles down, just as an example, into smaller categories, and you bunch together articles that are more closely related, not only will that help you from an SEO point of view because you've paid attention to the articles, you're making sure that the article titles are keyword rich and the keywords in the article titles are also in your content. That way you can really take advantage of WP Content Magic's abilities and performance. But if you select adding your own keywords and say you chose 5 keywords, which can also be tags, which are also going to be used as tags, just keep in mind that each batch of articles you upload using custom keywords, that each article will have those same exact tags. Okay. Obviously, the keywords in the content of each article are going to be spread differently, but just so you know that each article in that batch of articles you upload with custom keywords will have the same tags. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does require you to spend a little bit of time looking at your articles and making sure you know what keywords are in those articles, so that you can, when you add bold and underline and italics, that those keywords are actually inside your content. I hope that makes sense. So before I actually upload anything or carry on here, I'm going to just mention something about the articles. Okay, so by the way, if you hear any sort of loud tapping noises, it's just because it's raining out. So it's hitting my window and making a nice little racket. So okay, last time I uploaded the articles from the gardening articles folder. This time I'm going to upload articles from the more gardening articles. So I'll open that up, and 9 of the 11 articles here are the exact same ones, but there are 2 that I intentionally left with these titles. When WP Content Magic uploads the articles, the title of the articles are going to be the titles of your posts. So they're literally posted exactly the same. So for example, here you see the genesis of soil, and you see it's in all caps. So what I personally would do is right click that and rename it and type it like this: the genesis of soil. Okay, so now it matches how the rest of the, I'm capitalizing each individual word, but not the whole title is capitalized, because that, I don't know, I personally wouldn't want to have a post where the whole post is capitalized. I suppose there's nothing wrong with it technically, but same with here with the underscores. There are times where you want a hyphen. You might want a hyphen in your title, article title, but in this case, if you don't change this, then you're going to have underscores in your title of the article after it's been posted, and I just don't think that's the best thing to do. But I mean, technically it's not going to hurt you, I don't think, from an SEO point of view, but from a reader's point of view, when they see the article, it's going to look funny seeing underscores. So once again, I'd right click, rename, and get rid of all these underscores. So this is particularly common when you get PLR articles. You'll see these underscores, and I would just change those quickly. Now, going back to this genesis of soil, you can see a lot of these titles are relatively long. Some are a little bit shorter, but genesis of soil, you know that the and of are going to be keywords that are stop words, so they're not going to be posted as tags, and genesis and soil will be. So having 2 tags for an article is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you don't necessarily want 20 tags. 5 to 10 I would say max, but what I would probably do is rewrite that. So I've got a little text file to save time, and looking at the content of this article, I decided to rewrite it as such. So I'm just going to copy this, just move this over slightly, copy, and then come over here and right click and do rename and Control V to paste. Okay, so now you can see I've got a longer title. I've got soils, sand, clay, lime, perfect, garden. You know, those are much nicer and much nicer sounding keywords, and that'll be tags, but also um, it's going to benefit you better from an SEO point of view because the tags will make more sense um, than just soil and Genesis as the only tags. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But you know, take a little bit of time, look at the content of your articles, make sure your titles match the content. You got your SEO keywords in your title as well as your article. That's just good standard SEO practice. So even if you're manually uploading these and you didn't purchase this plugin, that's just good practice. You don't just slap up any old article, do you? You want to make sure the title is keyword rich, the content has keywords that match the title, and so on. Going back to this, I'm just using this as sort of a little notepad file. Well, literally that's what it is. But so looking at the titles up here, because I'm going to do some custom keywords, I might want landscape gardening as a keyword or a tag and keyword. Gardening, sand, clay, lime. There probably aren't too many uh, of these keywords in the rest of these articles, but tips, vegetable. Okay, so I'm going to use these keywords for my custom keywords. What I probably should have done was add a comma and oops, sorry. And just probably a little bit quicker. I know this is and just kind of add the keywords like this. I could have done it in the plugin itself, but okay, so there we go. So I'm going to copy all those, Control C, and paste those in there. Okay, so these keywords now are going to be the tags that are tagged to all the articles that I upload in this particular batch. You know, like I said, sand and clay and lime, those probably will only be in that soil article. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you can, you know, group together articles that have very similar keywords and then use the custom keywords. I'm going to create that new category again. I've got this selected as on the blank setting. Gardening tips again. This time I'm going to post them in the future. I'm not going to backdate any posts. Post them all in the future. So the first post today's the 5th. I'm going to do the first post from the 6th of September and say 2:18 p.m. I'm going to post them between one day and 12 days because I want to post these from the 6th of September into, say, October. September, October, probably November, actually. November, maybe even December. I'm going to bold as many keywords twice. Actually, I'm going to set all these to 2. So we should see garden and landscape gardening might only appear once or twice. Should see gardening. I might even do plant, seeds, add a few more in there. But once again, this is where you do a little bit of setup. You set up your articles, make sure that the groups that you're uploading, you know, you don't necessarily have to go through all this trouble. These are just my suggestions. And I'm going to hyperlink maximum 2 hyperlinks per. So I think in this, I'll do garden again. And this time I'll do youtube.com and I think vegetable. Now if an article doesn't have the word vegetable in it, it won't be hyperlinked. And this one I'll do, let's see, I'll just do Google again. Okay, so maximum 2 links. I'll go ahead and cloak them and all that. Before I actually upload these articles, I'm going to do one more thing. You can add a banner, so well HTML, such as JavaScript contact form. I haven't actually tried that, but that should work. And this HTML is a banner. So I want all of my art. Well, I want this 5 steps to a better lawn and garden to have. Oh, okay. I've already put that in there. Okay. So this particular article already has the banner. Great. Okay. Now I've got my articles all set. I've changed the titles, made sure I didn't have any underscores. I'm going to go ahead and zip this. So right click, send to compressed. There we go. And I'm ready to post. These should all post into the future. So I shouldn't have a single post that's already been published. Everything else should be scheduled to be posted into the future from the 6th onward. So let's choose that file. Once again, you got to go to the right hand side and select all files. This is the one I want. Go ahead and double click that. And I've set up my custom category, my new category. Click start posting. And there you go, within seconds. I mean, that was probably a second. Let's go to posts. You see that 11 are scheduled, and I said there were 11 articles. What was the name of that one article? It was 5 steps to a better lawn and garden. Okay. So let's scroll down a little bit. Sorry for going fast. 5 steps to a better lawn and garden. That's scheduled to be posted on. Okay, so on September 6th, tomorrow. And it's showing 2:18. So I guess it's actually randomizing the time as well, even from the first post. Here are all of the. See, they all have the same tags. So just be aware of that if you're using custom tags. Now I'm going to go ahead and on this 5 steps to a better lawn and garden that's due to post tomorrow, I'm actually going to change that to yesterday, just so we can see it posted. You can see it's posted to gardening tips, which is my new category. So I'll go to the blog, refresh. You can see gardening tips. There should just be one article. Okay. Now I'll get to this in a second. Okay. But if we go here, we can see we have that nice banner because I added that banner HTML at the top of the article prior to it being posted. You can see that there are 2 instances of hyperlinks based on the word garden. And let's just go back to WP Content Magic. Okay, so there must not be the word garden, vegetable, in that particular article, but there's the word garden, so there are maximum of 2 hyperlinks, and it only found garden as one of the tags, so it's hyperlinked that particular keyword twice. Okay, so open that, should go to YouTube. There we go, and that's cloaked, and it's no follow, etc. Other words that were in here, because I set it to bold and underline and italicize the word garden or any of the custom keywords. I hope this is making sense to you guys. Not only are these hyperlinked, but they're also bolded. Okay, the word plant was one of the keys, one of my custom keywords, so that's underlined. Garden shows up again, that's underlined. Garden is italicized. It's italicized here. So it's adding SEO features to the articles. Now to get back. Let's go back to gardening tips. If you're using this specific theme and possibly other Woo themes, the reason why this is appearing is, or how to get rid of that, I should say, is if you go to headlines for this particular theme, and you go to dynamic images, and you untick automatic image thumbs, because this is saying if no image is specified in the image custom field, which there is no image specified because these were all auto-updated, then the first uploaded post image is used. So because I uploaded a banner with that particular article, it's confusing the theme a little bit, thinking that banner image URL should be a thumbnail. So I would just untick this automatic image thumbs, click save. If you're not using this theme, or then obviously ignore this part of of the video, and then I'll refresh, and then it gets rid of that. Okay, so it was trying to create an auto thumb, and it didn't know how to do it. Um, so here we've got the article here, and once again, all the rest of the other 10 articles will be, will post under the gardening tips category over time. Let's go back to the post and see. Okay, so we got one ready to post on the 20th of November, on the 13th of November, the 6th, the 1st. So 5 of those articles are all going to be drip fed, and we'll start posting in November. Got one scheduled 31st of October, 23rd. We've got we got 3 articles to be posted in September. So you can see how by just playing with the settings that you can it's going to randomly post at different times in the future, giving your blog a much more natural appearance, that these aren't being auto posted, and as well as the SEO features, bold and underline and hyperlinks. There's just a lot you can do with this plugin. Okay, so any questions, just let me know, but hopefully you can see the benefit. Take a little bit of time, get your articles sorted, make sure the titles are keyword rich. Once again, that's just standard SEO practice. And then once they're ready to go, it takes 2 seconds to upload them. And that's one of the greatest things about the plugin, along with all these additional features. One last thing I haven't shown you yet is track links. Let's just go ahead and click that, or I've probably shown you, but now that I've clicked a few more links. Okay, so YouTube's been clicked once, Bing's been clicked twice. If you have different keywords, hyperlinks that are going to ClickBank products, affiliate products, etc., you can kind of get an idea of how many are being clicked, and so it's kind of a nice little feature to be able to track your clicks. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the plugin. Thanks again for purchasing it. Any questions, let me know. And yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks very much.